Ms. Szyc?
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I do want to correct, I made a misstatement. I forgot to hit refresh on my calculations of time. So, 8:51. Ms. Szyc was at 121, and Ms. Tajbakhsh, you're at 109.
109?
109.
Thank you.
And Ms. Szyc, 121. We are at 3.83 hours. We still have another hour and 10 minutes.
Is there anything that prevents you from calling the school to discuss absences with them?
No, all of his absences, I believe, are excused, so there's no reason to call me.
Okay, and so are you concerned about the number of absences that he has?
If this was a different grade, a different level, yes, I would be concerned. In first grade, I don't think he's missing much.
And even with the understanding that they're excused, you still believe that there would be a concern if he were in a different grade?
Well, yes, if he's not doing makeup homework. But there's, like I said, there's no makeup homework. There's nothing really to miss in first grade. I don't believe.
You testified that you have one vial of the, I believe? Yes. But you also testified that if the prescription were ready, you could go pick it up?
If it was called into a pharmacy, either mother or father would be able to pick up, yes.
Okay, what, is there a reason why it has to be that gets it called into a pharmacy?
The doctor would have to call that to a pharmacy. As far as I'm aware, she has a paper prescription that was never turned in. I could be wrong. I've never been told otherwise.
And is there something that's stopping you from calling the pediatrician to get the paper prescription?
Well, right now, he wouldn't write a new prescription a month and a half later. We would have to make a new doctor's appointment. We don't need a new prescription. We have one.
You testified that there was a birthday party for it was last weekend?
Yes.
Yes. And one of the conditions of your probation is that you can be around children if there's adult supervision,
Yes.
and those adults are aware of your current situation with full
Yes.
disclosure. And so the birthday party that you had last weekend, there were adults in attendance who met the conditions of your probation.
Yes, 4 of them are my witnesses, and 2 of them are my friends who've been with me throughout this entire thing.
So the condition of probation that you can be around children is that you can be around children with adult supervision.
Correct.
How old was when the situation at Smith's occurred with the plushie?
It was right now 6.
Okay. You testified that you taken anger management in 2014.
I believe it was.
Was it anger management therapy or was it an anger management class?
Counseling.
Okay, how long was the counseling?
I couldn't tell you the weeks. 6 or 8 weeks.
How long was each session?
Um,
Was it part of a criminal court case?
it was recommendation by attorney.
As part of a criminal court case?
Yes.
And you testified that you're currently in group sex talk?
I don't know exactly what it's called. It's Red Rock Psychological Counseling. It's probation. You have to do it when you're on probation for this. It's group therapy for sexual convictions.
And you attend that therapy weekly?
Weekly,
And how long is each session?
1 hour.
And you have to attend Red Rock Psychological Counseling Therapy for the entirety of your probation?
No, it's a 6 to 9 month program. Let me rephrase, please. The first tier, if you pass and everything goes well, is the 6 to 9 month program. If you do not pass the first tier the way they like you, it can be extended to 18 months.
Okay. And this 6 to 9 month tier, is that the tier you're in now?
Just starting, yes.
Okay. And that is a requirement of your probation?
It's a requirement for early release. It's not a requirement to complete probation.
So your probation officer did not tell you to attend therapy at Red Rock Physical Therapy or Red Rock Psychology?
Well, I mean, technically he did when we initially started paperwork. He outlined through everything and said, you have 45 days to sign up for this, you have this, you have to do this. Yes, technically he told me.
So wait, is it a requirement because he told you to do it, or?
So it's a requirement if I want to be on early release. I cannot earn good guy credits, that's what they call them, if I am not completing all of the factors of probation. So if I do not attend the counseling, I cannot earn good guy credits. So he's telling me and reading me through the bullet points that if I want to earn my good guy credits, I have to, within 45 days,
Sign up for the counseling, okay. And you had 45 days from when you got on probation?
From when he got my file in our first meeting.
Got it, okay.
Which was months after probation started.
You still having massive panic attacks?
Who said I was having panic attacks?
I believe your testimony was that,
Oh, about my son,
yes,
losing my son.
yes.
It still haunts me. I don't have panic attacks, I don't have hyperventilating, but it haunts me to think that I can lose my son.
When's the last time you had a panic attack?
Not when I were talking, before I left Christmas 2022. But it's not something that I stopped thinking about. But I don't break down and cry and have to deal with it.
You testified that you didn't share the camping trip over Easter weekend with because you still considered that to be in the Las Vegas Valley, is that correct?
Yes, from what I understood, taking him out of state or out of jurisdiction needed response. He was 40 minutes away. We didn't really leave anywhere.
Okay, when you were in Milwaukee, did you do self-service at all?
Negative.
Did she call him that weekend while he was camping?
I think so.
What is the name of the prescription medication you're taking? Do you experience any side effects as a result of taking that prescription medication?
Negative.
How long have you been taking it?
Since around March of 2023.
2023?
Yeah. 8.
You testified that you think one of your weaknesses is spoiling, and then you said related that to the whining with the plushie situation. So is the plushie situation based on being spoiled, or the traumatic events, or
It's
too
a
close to
culmination
call?
of everything, I would say.
Okay. Is it fair to say that this therapy at Red Rock Psychological Therapy is the second time you've been engaged in some kind of sex therapy?
Sure. Yes.
Do you recall how long you attended SAA?
Yes. I don't remember the exact months, but I do have my multi-year pen.
Multi-year?
Yes.
Okay, can you give me the number of years?
I was 2. Gold.
What years did you attend?
16, 17, 18? 17, 18, 19?
That's 4
No,
years.
17, 18, 19, because I went before I was born. Sorry, got my year wrong.
So 17 to 19? Are you subject to random drug testing while on probation?
Yes,
The last time you were drug tested?
2 months.
How often do you have to report to law enforcement to register as a sex offender?
4 times a year.
How many probation officers have you had since you've been on probation?
1.
You indicated that you called CPS, or at least got involved with CPS, with respect to the October 2022 incident. Did you actually end up giving a statement to them?
Yes.
Was that statement something other than, I invoke my right to remain silent because I have legal counsel?
I did not give them a statement about that incident. That's correct. I gave them a statement about. And I believe I said I cannot speak about it because counsel said to make an appointment to have me speak in front of my attorney, and they never made that appointment.
I'll pass.
Ms. Coughlin? Yes.
Mr. Are you planning on doing any other kind of therapies outside of your probation?
Planning, I currently go to, every once in a while, I join up on the Zoom meeting for SAA Monday nights.
Oh, so you still
Yes,
do that?
every 3-4 weeks I pop in and out.
Okay. And as part of your criminal case, with your special conditions of probation, were there any conditions that allowed you to continue living at the marital residence?
Say again?
Were there any conditions as part of your probation that allowed you to go back to the marital residence?
Yes, I can go back to my marital residence. My probation officer even told me not to change the address in my ID because he expects I'll be going back.
Okay, and is there any kind of TPO in place right now?
There is not.
Okay.
There is a stay away from the criminal side, but there is no private TPO.
Oh. When do you expect that you're going to be drug tested again for your probation?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, is it at random?
It's random, or he said it's random, or he can do it when we have our monthly meetings.
Okay.
So I always go the first week of every month.
You do go the first week of every month? Okay. And is that going to continue throughout the entirety of your probation?
He said every once in a while he'll do a home visit in lieu of me showing up there for a personal visit. He'll come to me. So right now I've done 2 I've done 3, what have I done? Two to him and he's done 1 to me.
Okay. The only thing I didn't get into with custody is your schedule, your work schedule. I was gonna save that for finances, given our time. I was going to ask though, with your work schedule, are you able to care for pursuant to the joint custody schedules that you've requested?
Absolutely, I get off at 2:30, I go straight to his school like I used to.
Okay, and when he's not in school, who would care for him?
Either grandparents or he can hang out with Alex, but most likely grandparents, and will probably join him with Alex.
Okay. And you've heard a lot of testimony regarding the incident today. Is there any statement that you'd like to make?
Rejection in the form of the question, it sounds like it calls for narrative.
Just a brief statement about, that there was a lot about the incident. Is there any kind of brief statement you'd like to make to the board?
It's the same as I've said this entire time. Horrible, horrible dark time in my life that I have never been more apologetic for. I said this at the criminal case, and if I could take it back, I would. Unfortunately, we can't. I know that drugs caused this for me, and almost made me lose my son and destroyed a relationship with my wife and my stepdaughter. And knowing that I could lose my son now as well, I don't need anything else in my life. And I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I always have been. I really wish, I know she doesn't want to hear from me, that I could call her and apologize so bad. I will never. I'm not allowed. But you can forward the message if you want. But I'm devastated that I hurt you, her, everyone. Not nearly as devastated as what I've caused, but.
I'll pass the next room.
Can we step?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further? Okay, thank you, sir. You may step down. Okay, we are at 4.1 total time. Total time was 246 minutes, 133 with Ms. Szyc and 113 on Ms. Tajbakhsh. We do have another less than an hour.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
We have less than an hour. We have until 5 o'clock to go.
I'm gonna try to push through the witnesses really quickly so they don't have to come back. I would call, what's your last name? Please.
Your Honor, I'm gonna ask that my client be allowed to step out of the courtrum for a second. She needs a minute.
No problem.
We can push forward, but can she just have a minute?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're on the record.
Thank you. We're back on the record. Now, please raise your right hand.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Spell?
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you for joining us. You may be seated. You're going to be asked a series of questions today. Please speak up, and that way we can hear you when you speak. And if you hear the word objection, please do not answer until I make a decision about whether or not you can answer, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have, my English is not really well, so I need to speak really slow for
That's fine.
understanding.
Okay, and if you don't understand the question, just let them know, and they can have them rephrase it, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sometimes myself and counsel speak very quickly, so if I go too fast, just stop me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 2 boys,
2 boys, and what are their names?
Bermúdez and Juan Esteban Bermúdez.
Okay. And what's your relationship to my client? How do you know? Do you know?
Yes, of course.
Okay. How do you know?
How long?
How do you know him? Is he your friend? Is he a
Okay.
romantic partner?
One is very respectful and is romantic.
Okay.
Is great person.
So is he your romantic partner?
Yes,
Okay, is he your boyfriend?
as my boyfriend
Okay.
and live with me.
Okay, he lives with you. Does he live with you with your children?
Yes,
Okay, and do your children live with you full time?
full time.
Um, where does is their dad around?
Their dad
Mm-hmm.
live in Colombia.
Okay, so does he come see the kids very often?
Every years because he has visa.
Okay, so your children live with you and how would you, from your observations, from what you've seen, how would you describe your children's relationship with?
Their relationship is very respectful. Is part of our family, so everything is fine in our house.
And you're aware, are you aware that is a registered sex offender?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Do you have any concerns with him being around your children while you're around?
No, I know that only because he has that problem, but I don't have any problems or any problem or any disagrees with him because he's good person.
How long have you and lived together?
We live together since August 2023.
Okay. And how long have you known?
17 months.
And how long have your children known?
Since December 2022.
Have your children ever made any kind of concerning comments regarding his behavior toward them?
Never.
Has ever disciplined your children?
No, the discipline for my children is my responsibility.
Have you ever witnessed you make inappropriate comments to your children?
No, never.
Have you ever witnessed you make inappropriate comments to any children?
Objection, foundation.
Can you repeat it?
Sustain.
Uh,
Want to give some
Yes,
background?
I'm gonna ask a different question.
Okay.
Do you and Jen attend birthday parties for your children?
I don't know if I understand correct, but we spend all our time with our children.
Okay. And is Jen there with you as well?
Of
His son?
course, of course. When it's in our home, we enjoy with us all the time. We all the time at home, all the time with the children.
Are there any other kids in the family that are around your kids when you're there?
We live in our house only live my children and when Sterling is with us.
Do you do any activities with any other families that have kids?
Sometimes we see is friend. Yes, but he not lives with us. He lives in different house.
Okay. Have you ever witnessed Jen make any inappropriate comments to?
No, no, never.
Okay.
At all.
How would you describe his relationship with him from what you've seen?
Perfect, amazing. I don't have nothing bad to say about their relationship. And is excellent father, and is sweet kid is perfect.
Has he ever told you that he's scared to be around?
Is so happy when he's with his father.
Does anyone ever make breakfast or lunch or dinner for you and the children?
Every day, always. Always.
Have you ever witnessed doing activities with your children? I'll break it down. Does play games with your children?
And me.
You guys both do?
Together.
Okay. Can you describe his relationship with?
They have a have a good relationship. They enjoy same games together. They play together. No have until now no have any problems. Good relationship.
And when you say until now, do they have problems now, or they've just never had any problems?
Never have.
Never?
problem. I'm sorry for my words. Maybe.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. You answered the question.
Okay, thank you.
I pass the witness round.
Lisa?
Yes, thank you. Is there ever a time when is alone with your children?
Never.
Is there ever a time when is alone with?
Never.
How old is
I don't know.
is he?
I think maybe 7 or 8. I don't know.
About the same age then as? Are they close in age?
It's close age.
And is a boy or a girl?
It's boy.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
And Ms. Tajbakhsh, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you tell me who his child, who his parents are?
His parents is Mari and Tammy.
And do you know their last name?
No.
Would that be
No.
Slatsky? Maybe?
No, I
You don't know?
know.
Okay, that's
I
okay.
don't
That's
know.
okay. Just want a clarification. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ma'am, you may step down, thank you. No intention to call her again?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're released for today, thank you.
Your Honor, call Marty Slatsky, please.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Slatsky, thank you for joining us. Please stand and raise your right hand. We'll swear you in.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state and swear your name for the record.
Martin Slatsky, MARTIN, SLATSKY.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Slatsky, for joining us today. You're going to be asked a series of questions today. If at any point you hear the word objection, please refrain from answering so that I can make a ruling on whether or not you should answer, okay? Thank you, sir.
Alright, so, may I call you Marty?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Marty, how are you, do you know my client?
Yes.
Okay, and how are you acquainted with him?
We've been friends with the family for, geez, I don't even know, 10 years at least.
Okay.
Around there.
Are you familiar with his parents as well?
Yes.
So would 2014 sound about right, about when you guys could have met?
Probably close.
Okay. Do you live locally in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Okay. When you state your family friends, how often do you see the family?
I see family every day, daily, basically.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever get to visit with,
Yes.
and when do you get to?
On the weekends, we have sometime, his grandfather, I'll refer to him as his father. Sometimes he'll pick him up and he'll bring him to the house, and then he'll come to our house and pick him up.
Okay. Prior to, now let me back up a little bit. Are you aware of the incident that occurred back in 2022?
Which incident?
Which led my client to have a criminal case and be a registered sex offender?
Yes.
Okay. Prior to that case, how often would you see?
Not that often, because they have their own, they have a private life, but we would get together with and get the boys together, but at that point, I don't know if it was maybe every couple of weeks we might see.
So did you ever have the opportunity to observe a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And prior to the criminal case, how would you describe your observations of their relationship?
Normal father-son relationship.
Did ever act like he was, in your opinion, did he ever seem timid around you?
No.
Did he ever seem scared around you?
No.
Okay. You said you would get the boys together. Do you have children?
Yes.
Okay, and how many children do you have?
Wow, that's a tricky one. I have 2 older daughters, and then our grandson we adopted, which he's now legally our son, and that's the one that I'll talk about. His name's
Okay. Okay, how old is he?
7.
7 years old. And does he have does he have a relationship with?
Yes.
Okay, how would you describe their relationship?
I consider they're best friends, even though they don't see each other all the time. Again, they've been brought up together from being small. So yeah, they've known each other from, like, I'd say after birth.
Okay. Have you recently spent time with my client and his son?
Yes.
Okay, were you attending a birthday party that's?
Yes.
When was this?
That was last weekend, I believe.
Okay. And were there other children there?
Yes.
Who else was there that was a child?
Obviously, our son, the, with, his girlfriend, she's got two kids, one's, the other one I think his name is Juan.
Okay.
And then there was another, I think, couple parents there with, I think another 1 or 2 kids there too as well.
Okay. Have you, in your observations, have you had any concerns about interacting?
No.
Have you ever witnessed being inappropriate toward? Do you have any concerns about being around? Have you left since the criminal case? Since the criminal conviction entered, he's a registered sex offender. Have you left alone?
At the party, I mean, they went out, threw the ball, they were throwing the football, and now they were alone together.
But you were there at the
party.
At
Yeah.
the party, okay. And were there other adults there as well?
Yes.
Okay. How would you describe his interactions with your son?
I think they have fun. I mean, it's a little rambunctious, a little more timid, so it's just they're kind of the opposites and that's why they're friends. They complement each other a lot.
Would you describe, sorry, let me rephrase that. Do you find that is patient with?
Yes.
Okay. Do you find that does treat kids with respect?
Yes.
Have you ever had any concerns disciplining?
No.
Have you ever witnessed discipline?
Yes, but just for if he was acting up a little bit, he would take him aside and just have a talk with him. But I mean, I consider that disciplining him.
Okay. No, that's fine. Have you ever witnessed forcefully grab?
No.
Have you ever witnessed push?
No.
Have you ever witnessed scream?
No.
Moving forward in the future, do you have any reason to prevent kids from coming around? As long as you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You're not pass the witness.
Thank you.
Lisa?
Good afternoon, sir. Do you mind if I call you Marty?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Marty, my name is Lisa. I represent. Have you ever Since October of 2022, have you seen interact with any female children?
Not that any female children interact, not that I can recall. I guess the only time I've really seen within children would be.
And then, well, you mentioned at the birthday party that there was one and then one or two kids, and I was wondering if either of those other children were female.
No, I think they were boys.
Okay, thank you. And then, council asked you if treats kids with respect, and you said yes.
Yeah.
And then she asked you if you had any concerns about disciplining Kate. Would there be an opportunity for to discipline Kate?
No.
Okay. So you have no concerns about it?
Yeah, we're not concerned. He's never needed to. And I mean,
Okay.
we're pretty good with him too. We try to keep in check.
Perfect. I have no further questions for this witness.
Thank you. Any follow-up?
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Okay. Ms. Tajbakhsh, any more witnesses?
Let's call Hustler, please.
And you can go a little bit longer. I don't want to keep the staff too long with overtime, but we'll have to break at least 5:25 so she has 5
Your Honor,
minutes.
I'll be done far before that. I'm gonna keep these super brief.
Excellent. Okay.
And in the interest of pushing on, I'm not going to ask for a bathroom break because I know the finish line is at the end of the.
Well, I don't want to cause anybody any medical issues.
Oh, no.
So please take a break. Feel free.
We're good. Now, if you were talking about being here till 6, that's a different story.
My husband would kill me. He's my kid.
Yes. What we can lose in a second, that was Lisa. So we might have to. So we'll have to- Mrs. Thank you for joining us. Please stand and raise your right hand. We're going to swear you in.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Would you please state and spell your name for the record? Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you for joining us today. You're going to be asked a series of questions today. If you can please respond and loud so we can hear your voice. And if you hear the word objection at any point, please refrain from responding until I make a ruling on the objection.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell me what your address is, please? And is that here in Las Vegas?
Yes, it is.
And how do you know my client?
He's my son,
Okay, and you're familiar with the plaintiff as well?
my daughter-in-law currently.
How often do you, okay, let me back up. So do you remember when the parties first started dating?
I could not give you a year.
Okay, that's okay. Were you living locally in Las Vegas when they first started dating?
Yes.
Okay. During the parties' marriage prior to their separation, how often would you see the parties and the children?
When they lived up the street, about a mile away, almost every day. When they moved, they first moved onto our property for a period of time while they were looking for a new home. And then, of course, we saw them every day, the entire family. And then when they found their new home, and near Jones and Charleston area, we saw my daughter-in-law every day because she brought someone over for babysitting for close to 2 years. And then sometimes my daughter-in-law would pick him up from us in the afternoon. Sometimes it would be my son in the afternoon. Sometimes we would keep later and we'd bring him home.
So you saw them substantially
Yes.
every month. Okay. Did you ever have a chance to observe the parties' relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that they treated each other respectfully?
Yes, from what I can see.
Okay. Did you ever witness any kind of domestic violence between them?
Never.
Have you ever witnessed, let me back up a little. Have you ever observed with strength?
Yes.
Okay. And how would you describe their relationship?
Very fun. Always having a good time playing.
Prior to, of course, you're aware of my client being registered as a sex offender, correct? Okay. Prior to that incident that occurred in October of 2022, how would you describe his behavior around you?
Same fun, playful, just happy-go-lucky kid.
Okay. And then after the incident and my client was arrested, how would you describe, let me back up a bit. Were you aware of my client's visitation with the child after the criminal case ensued?
Yes.
Okay, and what was your knowledge of what his visitation was at the beginning?
Supervised visitation at Donna's house.
Did you ever accompany him to Donna's house?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to observe during their visit?
Absolutely.
How would you describe his behavior during those visits, Donna's house visits?
Ecstatic. When he came into the room, he saw, depending who he saw first, like the very first time that I was present there, he saw Daddy and he was super excited, smiling, and saw him, but then he saw me. And he just made a beeline towards me and jumped into my arms. And then he jumped into Daddy's arms.
To your knowledge, had you had supervised visits prior to the first time you went to Donna's house?
I think he was going before we joined him.
Okay. But by the time you went there, it's your testimony that he was ecstatic whenever the visits commenced.
Every single time.
Okay. And then did my client ever live with you during this, while the criminal case was ongoing?
He did.
And how long did he live with you for?
I don't remember the date that the criminal case actually started. But from the time that he was released from the jail, whatever the date was there, to when we had to move we sold our homes, we moved, so then he was, gosh, I'm not sure how many months that would be, I can't say.
No, that's fine. Did he ever get visits during that time he lived with you? Did he ever have visits at your house?
Which,
Yes.
no.
Okay. You recall? Do you recall when the Donna's house visits stopped?
I don't recall the date itself, no.
Okay. Have you been involved in my client's visitation with his child?
Yes.
Okay. How often do you see?
We has him every first, second, fourth, fifth, which was the fifth weekend. So we pick him up after school on Friday, and then we bring him to our house, and then either we bring him home or we'll come and get him. And then sometimes we see him on the weekend, sometimes we don't. And then we pick him up again on that Monday morning to return him to school.
And during that time that was with you, does he ever report anything, make any concerning comments about his time with
Never.
Has he ever expressed any fear of to you?
Never.
Has Sterling ever expressed, let me rephrase that. During your time with has he ever talked about the issues between, the divorce issues between?
No, I have to say no to that question. Other than she had made a comment to me in the very beginning, when we started having the weekend visits before the overnight visits. And he happened to get them just during the day. So we had visited him on a weekend day, it was Saturday or Sunday. And had purchased a bed for him. And we were talking about the bed, and he was excited. He was showing me the bed, but then he got sad, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said, "I'm never going to be able to spend the night in this bed."
Did he seem sad when he said that?
He was extremely sad.
Okay. When the overnight started, when Jason's overnight started, since they've started, have you noticed any kind of, noticed anything special about his behavior?
He's just very, very happy. He just has a fantastic time. We when I'm there, we play hide and seek, and he swims in the pool when it's warmer, of course. Yeah, just has a great time. He just enjoys the weekend and is actually sad that it ends.
Have you recently gone camping with?
We did for Easter weekend, yes.
Who all was at that trip?
Of course, myself, my husband, and his children, and Ron, and
And where did you go?
we went into Logan Dam.
And how long did you guys go camping for?
We went up on Saturday, and we came back Sunday afternoon.
And how was demeanor during this entire trip?
Oh, he had a blast. He was so ecstatic. They were hiking, and he was picking up everything for him as an art project. So sticks and rocks, and just having a ball. And we had our razors, so they went for razor rides, and we did an Easter egg. They set up an Easter egg hunt for them, and they hunted all over the mountainsides for Easter eggs, and they just had a fantastic time.
Do you, I'm assuming you get to observe interactions, correct?
Yes.
Do you ever ever speak to with affection?
Always,
Ever speak to lovingly?
yes.
Have you heard any comments have you heard any comments since the overnight started? Have there been any comments from that caused you any concern?
No.
Has you said anything nasty?
No, not for him. He gets either tired or sometimes likes to be alone, and so he just wants to sit and do whatever he's playing. Sometimes he just likes to play alone for a little while, and then we'll be done with that and jump around and play and have just a great time again.
Your Honor, possibly this.
Ms. Szyc?
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. You said we pick him up after school. Who is we?
Myself and my husband.
And how long have you and your husband been picking up after school?
Since he was given the overnight visits,
So since the October order?
whatever the date was.
Okay. And why do you and your husband pick up from school?
Because that's what was ordered. We were asked if we could pick him up, and we do.
Does he never go with you on the school pickups? And how far of a drive is it from Las Vegas to Logandale?
I didn't drive and I fall asleep when they're driving, so I won't guess in hour maybe, hour and a half. Outside of Vegas.
And when you were camping overnight, did you happen to notice if you had self-service the entire time you were on that trip?
We did not. We had to be, the area where we were camping, it was very spotty. You could walk around one second you'd have cell service, the next second you wouldn't. So it was very, very spotty service.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Ms. Tajbakhsh, any redirect?
Just one question, Your Honor. You stated that he does not go with you to pick up.
Correct.
Has he gone with you recently?
He has not gone with us, but we have met, he's been there. He has gone there and then been with us.
So he has gone with you.
He's been there. He's
been there with you.
He's been there with us, but he hasn't gone.
Right, so he doesn't go into the school to,
That is correct.
okay, but he has come with you to the school to pick up.
That-
Okay. I just wanted to clarify for the board. Thank you. Your Honor, I have no more questions.
Okay, Ms. Szyc?
I actually do. What do you mean he has gone with you but not, like, can you be a little more clear about that? Has he been in the car with
He's
you?
been in the car,
But he hasn't gone
but
on,
he hasn't gone to the school.
so is the car not on the school property?
Correct.
So is it like across the street?
It is across, well, it depends on where the parking is, so either across the street, there's a dirt lot up the street. Sometimes we park in where there's parking available.
Okay, so but has been in the car with you to do school pickups,
Yes,
but he has not gone into the school
That is
to
correct.
actually go get.
correct.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nothing further for me.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Tajbakhsh, do you have another witness for the next?
Just
few
gonna
minutes?
recall my client briefly, Your Honor, just for one more question on custody.
I remind you, sir, you're still under oath. Thank you. You may be seated.
You heard your mom's testimony regarding the school, correct?
Yes.
Can you just give us a little bit more clarification of when you started going to the school with your parents to pick up?
3 weeks ago,
And why was it 3 weeks ago?
I waited for the TPO to be over, and then we had a couple of discussions. They told me that they really enjoyed doing it by themselves, and then I let them go one more time, and then I said, no, I'm coming with you.
Okay, so you've gone for the last 3 weeks to pick him up.
Yes.
And did you clear that with your probation officer?
It was cleared the first day we met.
Okay. So I was having a hard time kind of understanding what your mom meant. From your perspective, okay, so do you stay in the car when you go to the school?
For the last 3 visits, I have stayed in the car, yes.
And where is the car?
Parked in the school zone, right at the front of the school. So we
Okay.
turn on Cartier, park right in front of where the pickup is. They have 2 pickups, one for last year was for the kindergartners here. So it comes out the main gate. So the school is right here at the books. The street, Cartier is right here. I'm sitting right here, I don't know, 80 feet away from where they pick them up at the gate.
Okay, do they both go out and pick him up?
Yes.
Is there any other adults in the car with you? So Diane has gone with you as well this time. Okay, so you're on. You're in the school
We're
zone.
in the school zone, on the school street, school property.
But you're on the
school
street.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I pass on.
Your Honor, just to clarify, so you said on the school street, on the school property. Those are two different things. Are you on the
Well,
street?
the school's geographic zone goes halfway through the street, so we are technically in school zone and school property. The house is on the front, go halfway through the street, the school goes to here, if you look up the county lines, city lines. So where we're parked, we are on school property, yes.
On the street.
On the street. On the curb.
No questions.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. You may step down. Okay,
And Your Honor, with regard to custody, I will rest.
Okay. And you guys are actually at an even 137 each. So 137, 137, which is very rare. So 137, we're at
It's the speed that we talk.
And that's just when you're direct and cross-examining, when we were, a vast majority of this was a lot of argument regarding the witnesses, the testimony, and so that's where a lot of our time went today. But we are at 274 minutes total trial time, 4.57 hours, 137 and 137 for each time. So at this point, I will, if you guys have both rested for custody, we can at least conclude the custodial portion of this matter and allow you guys also to submit your closing briefs for the custodial piece, so I can at least get the custody decision out of the way, or rendered.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I actually do have an opening, depending on you guys. We did have a trial clear on the 2nd, May 2nd at 1:30. That's very close, I know.
Court's indulgence.
We don't normally give those away if they clear.
Your Honor, I can make that happen.
Okay, May 2nd
I,
at
my
1:30.
calendar is pulling up. I had it on airplane mode because we're still on the record. I don't mind. I wear hearing aids, and so they're Bluetooth connected to my phone. So if I don't put my phone on airplane mode, it rings in my ear all day during trial. So, yeah.
Not a problem. And actually, we have a status check that same day at 11 o'clock. That's why I'm seeing the name twice. We have the grandparents' case that day at 11 o'clock. So it would just be later on that afternoon at 1:30.
And I believe, Your Honor, if I remember, that was to see the outcome of this
Correct.
case. Okay.
Yes.
We might just have to continue that, which would work out because my 11 o'clocks are in the red, meaning I have too many cases for the setting for 11.
I would have no objection if you issued a bench order to just vacate that hearing. If
Yeah.
you quit
I
now.
have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and vacate the unrelated, the companion case. We have, Ms. Warnock is not in that case though, and she does represent the grandparents.
She does. Would you have an objection if we circulated an email to bring her in on that? Because it's for the status on this, so I don't
It's
think she
for-
would mind.
And
But
so, and the court can just go ahead and do that. I just want to make sure
yeah.
Yeah,
both
that's
of you, but not her,
No problem.
represents grandparents. You guys can just circulate a stipulation.
With regard to the closing brief, Your Honor, when would you like that by?
That would be up to you guys.
Okay. Would we like it before the next date, or do we want to just do a comprehensive?
No, I don't think you guys will have it ready by the next day, probably not. We can just do.
I could, but.
If you guys are both available for the 2nd, then we can just do a comprehensive. That's just a week.
I'm closing out all of my apps because sometimes when it goes from airplane mode to not, it takes a minute to open.
What do you use? What's your case management?
Clio.
Oh, I'd have to download it. I was gonna see if you can use my thing, but I don't have it.
It's my phone and it doesn't hold that right as soon as I took it off of airplane mode. My dad tried to call me because of course. I think I'm gonna be okay for May 2nd. The only thing is I think I have an appearance in person in Pahrump that morning, but I should be able to get back here by 1:30. Like that should not be a problem. And if we already had an 11 o'clock, like
Yes.
Yeah.
Much more clear. Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yes
Okay.
because
Excellent.
if I have something else on, I'll just move that so that we can make trial work.
Excellent. So we'll go ahead and set 1:30, day 2 for this trial today. I'm sorry, May 2nd. And you know what, we'll just go ahead, the court can move. I'm gonna go ahead and vacate the 11 o'clock, because it doesn't make sense to have a hearing if it was contingent on this. So if you guys can just let Ms. Warnock know.
Which cases?
So why don't we go ahead and set this one first at 1:30,
Right.
this case, the current one,
Okay.
then we'll switch over to the other and clear.
Stand by.
As far as exhibits are concerned, I think we only admitted one exhibit. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, the rest are all financial.
Okay, that's fine, okay.
Okay, so I have the May 2nd at 1:30 set.
Yes, that's day 2 for this trial.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay, and then if you go into our 11 o'clock
I'm not
settings,
to it all.
On May 2nd?
May 2nd, the 11 o'clock
Yeah,
session,
So,
let's
to
do
me,
that. Paste
like,
this.
to save time and like
We will-
foundation, so we can just, if we're gonna have a half a day. And
Yeah.
I only plan on calling the parties. Like,
Me too.
okay.
Me too.
We'll
So,
vacate that
we
one,
can-
because that was contingent on this one. Yes.
Are you asking all of us?
Yeah,
That way we're not red.
okay, okay.
Okay, so we are confirmed, May 2nd at 1:30. I do have, if you want, you can keep your binders here with the Madam Clerk, and I can be kept here. I'm gonna give them to Madam Clerk, so I don't look at.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You guys might wanna keep your witness ones though, because if you put it there, you might lose it.
Okay, perfect. Maybe first.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take your witness ones. The ones that you gave to Madam Clerk and I will just secure it here in the court. And it'll essentially just be pick up day 2. You guys are on equal time with one another, so that's good. No one knows anyone's time. And that will be day 2, which will be.
do you get that argument often?
No, I've
Oh,
never had
okay.
that. Never
Oh wait,
had it.
we didn't talk about briefs though, for closing.
Oh, I believe we're just.
Consolidate
we're
at
just
the end of the
consolidating.
Perfect, yes,
Yes,
beautiful.
because it's
I
all,
missed that,
it's
sorry.
just 10 days from now.
Yeah.
It's rare, I've never been able to do a trial setting so quickly, so you guys were very fortunate that we had another one open. Okay, you guys are at 137, so you're at even time, no one knows anything. We will keep your trial books here, you guys can take back your witness books,
Thank you, Judge.
and hopefully you guys can maybe.
Your Honor, is there a trash can? Yeah.
Somewhere there, I don't know.
Where did you all put your books?
We took the witness.
We took the witness books. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we have them.
Good.
So we just keep ours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, everyone, I will see you on May 2nd at 1:30 PM. Again, to the extent you guys can resolve matters, that would be most ideal. Like suggest maybe you can meet and confer and try to resolve some of the financials. Otherwise, we will reconvene on May 2nd.
We're definitely gonna talk about the exhibits and everything, Your Honor. We actually just did, so.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a conversation about hopefully stipulating some things, so
Great,
thank you.
all right, thank you all. We'll see you on May 2nd at 1:30. The companion case at 11 AM has been vacated. You can please let Mr. know. That way we can resolve this matter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You too, thank you all.
All right, Lisa.